everyone. I'm Elise Rothrock with the VMS Media and Communications Department, and today you're in for a special treat. We are joined in this video by Kurt Weeman, who is the Director of Landscaping Services, and he's here today to tell us about all things landscaping in Laguna Woods Village.
Hi. I wanted to take a moment and show all of you what goes on behind the scenes of landscaping. You see our guys out in the field around your homes almost every week, either mowing, trimming, and doing all those maintenance tasks. What you don't see is about 1/3 of our workforce works behind the scenes doing what we call support services. So we're going to show you some of those things that many people don't get to see. We will show you our small equipment repair shop where we maintain over 250 pieces of equipment. We will take you over to our 4-acre mulch yard where we process all of the green waste that comes out of the community. And then we'll take you to the nursery, which is a 6-acre lot, which produces all of the plant material that goes in. So when you see our crews coming in and planting and mulching, you know that all of that starts here and ends here.
So here we are at the Mower Shop for Laguna Woods Village, and we're joined by Manny Tafoya, who is the Senior Supervisor of the Mower Shop. So we have some questions to ask him about this huge operation that helps to maintain all the grounds in the village.
Well, where do you want to start? I think we had some questions for Kurt, first of all.
Yeah,
about the...
What I wanted to point out is here in the village, we maintain over 650 acres of manicured landscape. And what you don't get to see every day is what goes on behind the scenes. We have over 146 employees with about only 85 of those out in the field. The rest are all behind the scenes, what we call support. And this is one of the biggest support divisions that we have here. The small equipment repair shop, which we refer to as the Mower Shop. We have 46 mowers and over 180 pieces of small power equipment that is all maintained in-house. And we have a very dedicated staff here and a dedicated space for that. And we just wanted to give you a little walk around and see what we do here on a daily basis.
Okay, this is our lift system that we have right now that'll eventually be replaced. You know, that we spent some time, I guess Kurt spent some time to get the approval for it, but you know what, they've been here for 50 years, and I think it's about time that they do get replaced for various reasons. But this is where our guys do, you know, the repairs such as, you know, trannies and stuff that they need to get underneath to see, you know, the mowers, you know, and where sometimes, you know, it's difficult to look, you know, at mowers just when they come in, but when they lift them up, they're able to see all the parts underneath and they're able to do the work likewise, you know. So this is the area, you know, that we got 3 of the lifts. And if you want to walk back here with me, we also are getting all of our tables replaced. You know, we got some new fancy, you know, tables coming in with some drawers that we can have all of our handy tools there, and that, you know, the guys are real excited about that. But, you know, this is basically it. You know, we're doing, you know, little repairs little by little. And if you would like to turn this way, you know, once our mowers, they come, where there's an area outside if you'd like to. In fact, let's go ahead and walk out here so we can show them the whole scene here. Yeah, this is the area that our mowers are dropped off after used in the community for 4 days a week. Fridays is the day we do the maintenance. So they bring them in here, they check them all out, they check the oil, they clean them off, they sharpen the blades. If the blades needs changing, we've got another section where we, you know, have a ton of blades that are already ready just to be installed, and that's done on a Friday. So these guys got to work very, very hard to get them ready for the following Monday. So we bring them from this section, then we bring them all the way inside here, inside the shop here, so where they're protected from the elements, because these are very expensive mowers that we take, you know, a great, you know, care. So we bring them in here, they're nice and cleaned up, ready to go. Oil's been checked, filters have been cleaned, blades have been sharpened, so the turf out there is as beautiful as we can get it. And, you know, and then there's an area over here on this side. I know we're moving around a little bit, you know, but I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. Over in this area is all the small equipment that Kurt was talking about. We got about 186 pieces of small equipment. And, you know, this is where the guys bring them in. They need, you know, any kind of repair, you know, they fill out a request, then they set them here. They've got a multiple supply of equipment so they can continue to keep working. So they'll bring in the, you know, the ones that they feel they need some maintenance. You know, we'll check them out, we'll bring them back over to the other side. The guys work on them, get them ready, and boom, they're out the door. But it's constantly, these guys are, we've got 3 certified mechanics that are on the move constantly, you know, because we've got, like Kurt said, you know, 46 mowers, and these are giant mowers, you know, and then 186 pieces of small equipment. That is a lot of work, plus our inventory. We have to be on top of our inventory, which we're going to walk over and check it out right now. This cage, this red cage back here, is filled with all the inventory we need. So we have to be proactive and have it ready for every season of the year. I've got a great assistant that helps me. You know, I call him my assistant, but he's, you know, a good lead man that he's always telling me, hey, this is what we need. So we're being proactive, making sure we're not running out of anything, so the guys can always be fully equipped out in the field. You know, so I think that we've ran a pretty good system lately, you know, and we're not getting any complaints with mowers being down. They're always being, you know, amply supplied with everything they need. So we do have another section that we can take you to where we do, because we have, like I said, 46 mowers. They don't all fit in this department. We've got another warehouse just right around the corner where we fill them up, fill that place up too. If you want to walk over with me, we can show you that area. And as we walk, I'll go ahead and show you that we also have this location where we, you know, it's just a temporary location where some of the mowers sit while we're waiting for large parts, you know, special order parts. You know, we have this location here where they're, you know, gated off so nobody can just walk up and possibly, you know, get into it. You know, it's protected for safety reasons. We'll walk over to this other warehouse, and as we walk, you can see all the different areas we have, you know, not only here, but over on this side, because I also run the pest control department, and all of our supplies are secure in that building. So yeah, once a year the fire department will come and they'll check to make sure that everything is perfectly secured, because safety is our #1. Other shop here, and here's where we put the rest of the mowers. The rest of the mowers get packed up. This will all be lined up to all the way to this yellow line, and all these mowers will be lined up here for safety and to be protected from the elements, because I said again that these mowers are very expensive. They're used, you know, throughout the community, and we want them in tip-top shape for every single Monday.
Hi, here in the Mower Shop, one thing I wanted to highlight for you that the landscape committees, the GRF landscape committee has been working well with the landscape department in upgrading all the equipment we have here. Starting 3 years ago, they gave us the funds that we need to replace the mowers. A lot of these mowers, like I said, we had 46 mowers. A lot of them were 30 years old or more and not functioning well. And if you've seen the quality of the mowing that we do out there now, it has far increased because the board has given us the funds necessary to replace mowers every 7 years. These mowers cost about $8,000 to $10,000 each, so it's a big investment that the board has made into our operations, and as you can see on a day-to-day basis that it is working. The 180 pieces of small power equipment that we have here is also on a 3-year replacement program. Additionally, when we get a piece of equipment that requires more than 2 repairs, we just replace it. We also have managed to stock up, with the help of the boards, a replacement supply, so that if a blower goes out during the day, they just have to come in, turn it in, and pick up another functioning blower, and take that back out in the field without any time lost out in the field. So the board has been very helpful with us in reinvigorating this shop and reinvigorating our equipment supply, which you can see in the efficiencies we've gained in the field. Hi, we're outside of our fertilizer and pesticide storage area here. We take you inside, but it's not a pretty sight. But thanks to the El Toro Water District has been slowly converting most of our turf areas to recycled water, which in and of itself is a fertilizer that the grass really loves. So that has been able to save us thousands of dollars a year in fertilizing costs. We only need to fertilize the turf now once a year, as opposed to the normal 4 times a year to keep it green and healthy. Hi, we are in our soon-to-be state-of-the-art irrigation control center. This is Raul Arceo, our irrigation supervisor. He's been with this company for over 47 years. He is a wealth of knowledge of this community and a wealth of knowledge of our irrigation control system. Boards have dedicated $4 million towards replacing this irrigation system, which is well over 20 years old. It lacks a lot of the functionality we need. We have a lot of problems with communications with it, and it gives us no remote access to it at all. So we need to have an operator in front of this terminal at all times. The new system we expect to be much more modern, where we'd be able to control it from our remote devices such as a cell phone. And it's a huge undertaking that we're doing here. That's why the cost is so much. It's a huge system. We have over 460 controllers controlling almost 500,000 irrigation heads. So Raul, can you take us through some of the screens here real quick?
Yeah, we have 31 sites that we call sites. It's one from 1 through 31, and that's how we control every single area. Like we can see some of the screens that showed how the night before it irrigated. So and on there we can also work on the scheduling, making different schedules depending on what activities we have. But that's the basics of that. We also have control from ET sensor that we have in the field, and we also have some screen that shows events like rain, how much rain we had during certain seasons.
When we talk about scheduling the irrigation, there's 2 factors that play into that. One is weather. We have our own weather station here in the village that gives us weather information, not just rain, also gives us wind data, but most importantly, it gives us ET data, which stands for evapotranspiration. It monitors the amount of moisture that is coming up out of the ground, which is the #1 indicator, more important than any of those other factors, in how much water our turf and shrubs need. And as far as the scheduling goes, there's more to scheduling than just having this sprinklers turn on at night for 2 times. We also need to schedule around our crews. We need to stop we need to stop the irrigation on the turf the night before we mow. So whenever we shift mow schedules, we have to shift the irrigation schedules. As well as when we work with the paint crew, we have to turn the irrigation off for when the paint crew is out there, because you can imagine what would happen if irrigation came on when the guys were painting. So there's a lot more to scheduling the irrigation here in the village than it appears just looking out your front window. Hi, welcome to our mulch yard. This is another one of the sites that residents don't get to see much, mostly because of the danger involved in the equipment you see behind me. Here in the community, we process everything, all the green waste that comes out of our daily operations, every grass clipping, every tree that's cut, and all the shrubs that pruned come here. As you can see from the pile here, we process over 30,000 cubic yards of green waste a year, and that we turn that into over 10,000 cubic yards of mulch, and that mulch goes directly back into the community. We also process over 1,000 cubic yards of manure from the equestrian center, and we process that into a special mulch that goes to the garden centers only. We do not put any manure into the community at all. We, all of our, according to Orange County health regulations, all the mulch that goes into the community is tested at least twice a year. It's tested for heavy metals, salmonella, and E. coli, so you know that the material that we're putting around your community is completely safe. And like I said a moment ago, none of the manure is placed out in the community. The mulch does have a distinct odor. That is just from the decomposition process. One of the things that we monitor most in here is the temperature of these piles. The decomposition process that can develop temperatures up to 190 degrees. We try to keep them between 135 and 160, and that process is maintained through watering and turning of the piles. These piles are turned constantly and to maintain an even, thorough blend of mulch. Crews work hard mostly in the winter months to put this out. We spend most of our summer months mowing, and the winter months is when we do the shrub bed care. This year we expect to put an extra effort into getting mulch out into the community. As you can see, we have plenty, so it's just a matter of the labor hours to get it out there. We've been working weekends to make the community better and get on top of the whole weed situation.
Okay, we are going to give you a sneak peek of where all the plants that start in the community, and it starts right here. You know, we've got a really good system where we propagate from a couple of different varieties, seeds and cuttings, but follow me and I'll show you. These are some of the cuttings of a variety of different plants here that are just now starting to root. We won't actually plant them into 1 gallons until we get a full root system in them, so there's a process, our foreman here, he knows, which plants have been planted, what starts, and what began when, and what have you. So he's got a really good system going. But go ahead and follow me this way, and I'll show you where we actually do cuttings. We got Rigo here, who's an expert. He's been here for many years doing our cuttings, and he basically goes out, Israel goes through the community finding different types of plants that we want to propagate, and and he takes cuttings from them. Then here's the process. We use some perlite and some other amendments for it, and he begins to put all the cuttings there, and little by little, as he fills up these flats, you can see the rest. I'll show you after we continue to do a little bit more cuttings here. We'll go over into the other areas where they're just starting to really root. And right behind Rigo here, you can walk through here, and we have already plants that have already been rooted. They're actually ready to be planted into 1 gallon. See, got all the variety of different plants and cherries and lantanas and all the different ivies that we use in the community. So everything starts right here. Everything begins right here. Just a few flats can make hundreds and hundreds of 1 gallons, 5 gallons, and 15-gallon plants. So this is just a few of the varieties. We are trying to introduce more, pathogen-friendly plants, that require less maintenance for our 530 department that does all the, the trimming or what have you. That's what we're trying to introduce, something that's less, that's drought tolerant, like succulents and what have you, and it's friendly, in the community, because this is, that's what we want. We want to beautify the community, but at the same time save as much money as we can doing it, so we don't have to, keep coming back to certain plants and do trimmings and or spraying or what have you. But this is it right here. Some of these are already ready to go into 1 gallons. And then from the shade house, which was purchased not too long ago, the shade house was just 50% shade, we'll introduce them out to the elements, to get acclimated so they're ready to go out into the community. So, we don't take them out until we feel that they're ready, they're rooted, they're ready to be planted. We introduce them out there, and then, we start irrigating them. Everything's irrigated through a really nifty irrigation system, which we're going to get into shortly once we come out. Okay, now we're out here where we come from the propagating greenhouses and we transfer them into 1 gallon, 5 gallons, and 15-gallon plants. And remember, all these plants, all these trees are for only the community use. Everything starts in the greenhouse, either by seed or by cuttings, and then it's shifted into 1 gallons, 5s, and 15s and kept in these yards. And then tickets are produced from the 530 department, maintenance department, wherever they're upgrading or adding more plants or taking out plants. Everything starts right here. So if you can look around, you can see all the wonderful plants that are now into 1 gallon, 5 gallon, or 15 gallon plants. These plants are taken care of, they're groomed, they're weeded. You can see the place is just about immaculate because our 560 department comes in here on, you know, probably 3 to 4 times a year, and they take care of all the weeding, they take care of all the maintenance here. But our guys here in the nursery, they're the ones in charge of trimming them, of taking care of them, of shifting them from one container to another. But also this year we got a really nifty upgrade, and we put in a new irrigation system, you know, which is you know, very advanced system that helps our department really take care of the plants. Because sometimes, you know how weather, it changes. I mean, today it's supposed to be 90 degrees because of the Santa Anas. Well, you know, we got a new nifty system. You know, all the irrigation system has been upgraded, and now we can control everything by our mobile phones, because we got a mobile app, by our computer, our desktops, or our tablets. In fact, I'm going to turn on one of the stations here because, you know, say, you know, for instance, you know, I happen to look at the weather, and that day it happens to be hot. You know, it's an unexpected weather. You know, here in Southern California, sometimes we can get some crazy weather. It can be cold one moment and hot the next, and all of a sudden the Santa Anas, and the meteorologist never told you about it. So we get that unexpected weather, and because we've got thousands and thousands of dollars worth of plant material that goes out to the community that we spent, you know, just countless hours, you know, propagating and taking care of, we want to make sure that they are well taken care of. So I'm going to turn on one of the stations, you know, to let us know that, hey, you know what, this app is working. I come in here, I find the controller. We've got 2 controllers, you know, one on the south end, one on the north end. And if I want to say, you know what, it's going to be a little hot that day, I want to water it, station 4. Well, let me see if it, you know, let me see if I can get this thing to run so we can see right now station 4 pop up in a second. It should pop up, takes a little minute or so, you know, and we'll start to see that, look, my mobile app controlled my watering. You know, it was going to be hot that day. I'm having coffee. It is a Sunday morning. I don't want to run out to the nursery to make sure that the thousands of dollars that we've invested, you've invested into this nursery, it gets harmed, because we want the trees and plants to look lush and green just like they do right now. So, you know, I can turn it on. I can set it, you know, to as many minutes as I want. I can actually do multiple of stations depending on where the smallest plants are, the ones that need more care, that need more moisture, and what have you. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off right now with my mobile app. And just a very, very nifty new tool that we have. You know, it was upgraded this year, and I thank my director, you know, Kurt, and my manager, you know, Bob Merget. You know, they you know, allowed us to get this, and I'm telling you, there it is right here. Beautiful plants taken care of by a wonderful group here in the community.
Wasn't that amazing? Thank you, Kurt, so much for showing us behind the scenes landscaping services in the village. Truly, it's an amazing, complicated operation. All the things that go into making this village such a beautiful place for all residents to live. Thank you for joining us today.